And some rules of engagement, the way I see it is, and we can add to it, but like there's no bad questions. We're all learning here. Keeping a positive learning environment. And you know, for me, my role is to structure the discussions to help you share your experiences and the learnings. And I think it's what we get out of the experience is what we put into it. And that's something that we'll find out more. And I want it to be fun, so there's a few surprises waiting later at the session. So let's break some ice. And the first activity, you all have these sheets. It describes the instructions for how it's going to proceed. But essentially, in groups of two, you are going to interview each other. And you're going to ask 3 questions. The name and the affiliation. 1 fun fact about yourself. And the 3rd question is, why do you care about Main Streets? But for that one, write it down on a Post-it. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is we're going to do like a round robin where each pair introduces the other person. So just say, you know, their name, their affiliation, 1 fun fact about them, and also you would have written down why Main Street is important for them. And we're going to put them here. So who wants to get started? Will?
I'm Will. Hello, everyone. I am working with Karina. Karina is a Spurs fellow. And do I share their fun fact, or is that private? Okay.
Oh, it's up to them. Yeah.
Karina's a dancer, or used to dance a lot. And Karina used to do modern dance, and as well as some other types of dance, but currently does a lot of yoga and has been a yoga practitioner for quite some time, and finds it to be really grounding and enables her to think about what really matters. And I think that led Karina to answering the question about Main Streets, because Main Streets really matter, because they're places of democracy for Karina. And right now, she feels like they're currently designed for commercial activities and for commerce and for businesses. And they should be designed and feature more social connection and enable folks to, like yoga, focus on what really matters and the connectivity between us.
Excellent summary. Do you have the Post-it that says the places of democracy? I can put it, yeah.
I wrote a little small out.
Oh, it's fine.
Will, it's a great person summarizing things and make them at least here very interesting. Thank you, Will. So I'm going to introduce Will. Will is an MCP 1 student. And the fun fact is that he's also a dancer. But he does ballroom dance, so I bet we should all try to go with him for a salsa or a samba or these kind of dances that he knows a lot, tango as well. And it was very interesting to hear him because he's from New York and he grew up like moving around New York City in 3 different boroughs and neighborhoods. So he grew up in Main Streets, and that's why he cares so much about them. And when he was in Queens or in Harlem, he could just like be on a main street and have access to all these commercial activities, but also to side parks and other features that are around main streets. And they have this ability to make people gather, meet, to loiter, to really exchange and be together. And they are key because they're arteries of the ecosystem of cities. And they also are a space for practicing being around different people. And he believes that through co-design we can, through AI we can co-design streets and use these to inform the decisions. And he believes that, and this is very interesting, that artificial intelligence, it's a part of a communicative democracy, because then we can share through images what we are thinking about.
Excellent. Thank you, Karina. Who wants to go next? Heba? Nice to meet you.
So I'm Heba. I'm going to introduce Isaac. He's an MCP student. And do I share all the fun facts? Yeah. So he has a twin, a non-identical twin. And he also plays the clarinet, which is very interesting to know. And we would have an opportunity to hear him. He's going to be playing within the IAP period. So that's very interesting. So something that we did connect, because I tried to play the piano, but I never succeeded. So I'm always admire people who can do that to the end. And he likes or cares about main streets because these are areas where he thinks people can connect and connects people and makes them feel at home. And also, they are places that make the city vibrant.
Okay. Testing. Okay, I guess it works. Well, thank you, Heba, for the wonderful introduction. But I'm going to try to make an even better introduction for you. So, Heba, she is a Spurs fellow at MIT. She's coming all the way from Egypt, and she is a self-described workaholic because she not only has like a main day job practice, but she also teaches at multiple universities throughout semesters. So, yep, I see Will's face right now. That's that was my face. But she thinks I'm cool for playing the clarinet, but I think she's cooler for having horseback riding as a hobby, and she's been doing it since she was a kid. And she has learned how to ride a horse before she could ride a bike or swim. And she also does some horse jumping. And, she thinks like, oh, Isaac, how do you have the discipline to play clarinet? And I'm like, how do you have the guts to ride a horse? Because I don't. I mean, like professionally ride. Like, what I mean. I've ridden a horse. Still, like, I mean, it's much easier to misplay a note, if you ask me. But Heba cares about main streets because she thinks that they represent the identity of a city, and that they manage to bring diverse people together, and they really make cities lively and human.
Thank you.
Yes.
Could you give me the...
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. My name is Habib. I will introduce my colleague here, Lin. Lin is from Vietnam, from Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh City. Yeah. She used to be a vocalist, semi-professional, so we are lucky to have her today. And she's MCB2 student here at MIT, and she used to make committing full-time urban planning to design better living environment for people, and she thinks that the street main streets are the main skeleton of the city, and they must contain social integration and social spaces for people to gather and meet. Nice to meet you.
Right, I'm going to introduce, so Habib is a Spurs Fellow. It's a special program for urban and regional planning. Yeah, and he's a Hubert Humphrey Fellow as well. So we discussed about the why should we care about main streets, and Habib thinks that main streets is a very important sort of axis of the city that leads to main services of the city. And Main Street is often designed to be accessible by different means of transportation, including walking, cycling, public transportation, different kind of vehicles, cars. And Main Streets, and he thinks that Main Streets should have more green spaces. Yeah, green infrastructure in general.
Thank you very much.
Oh, so I forgot. His fun fact is he saw snow for the first time.
Oh,
And then he
wow.
played like a kid. Very cute.
Thank you very much. Who wants to go next? Sam is usually the first one to raise her hand. What's happening?
First of all, rude, but fair. I did do my
You're
birth chart.
admired for your
Thank you.
courage.
As I told Will, I recently did my astrological birth chart, and in almost every house moon, there was a mention of like talking and communication. Okay, so we'll just like go around. Okay, so I will introduce Jareen, who's from Brooklyn, specifically Crown Heights. She's second year at the MIT Media Lab, and is previously also trained as an architect. And if that is not a fun enough fact, Jareen also grew up speaking Creole, French, Spanish, and English, and another. She's multilingual, which, as someone who can barely speak one English language, I'm very impressed by.
Did you say the why Main Street?
Oh, why Main Street? We got a little distracted by talking about each other, but we talked about how all three of us grew up very close to main streets and in major cities, and how that was a huge kind of boon to growing up, and that main streets really are an opportunity to bring people together, have an opportunity for like visible culture and creating a personal experience in sort of a impersonal place of large cities.
Thank you.
So I'll introduce Oos, who is a native to Cambridge, which is very rare to find. Prior to, he's a MCP2. Prior to that, studied business, and now is working for the city of Cambridge under the Arts Council, which is really cool. He speaks French, and also knows a little bit of like some sort of French. Yes, yeah, but admires the language of Creole. But I don't know if we have like fun facts, but I think those were fun facts. Yeah.
Being born in Cambridge is a fun
Yeah,
fact.
for sure. And we spoke a lot about just our connections to being native to like major cities that are also experiencing gentrification, and the relationship to that, to main streets, where we also just share the same unique sort of like perspectives of main streets tying people together in terms of culture, diverse perspectives, allowing pedestrian activity to be made visible. Yeah.
Thank you.
So Sam is also a native, coming from JP, Jamaica Plains in Boston, and loves ice cream because JP Licks is famous for coming from, yes, it's part of the main street there.
Oh.
And Sam also lived in Lebanon and speaks Arabic. Most of the Arabic words she knows are to sit down or to get off, because she speaks to your friend's daughter.
Yeah, my nieces.
Yes, yes.
So it's a lot of sit down, you know, ade.
Yeah, but it's not bad. It's good.
Good.
It's good. And yeah, حلوة كتير حلوة. And Main Street is important too because, like we said, ice cream, but also connections. Yes.
Thank you. I'm gonna take the. Yeah. Gonna take the post-its.
Okay, so
Thank
hi
you.
everybody, I'm Jeffrey. So I'm from the Senseable City Lab, the SIM lab at the also on our lab, and she's a visiting student in our lab about computer science. Yeah, and she told us that so every time she's from Norway, so every time she get back to Norway, she feels like home. She see the mysteries in Norway, she feels like home. So that's what reminds me that every time when I'm traveling, so I visit a country or a small city, so that main street makes me feel like another culture of the city or another country. So I would like to define main street like represents the cultures of different cities. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi, my name is Osa, and I'm working, in Senseable. I am here to introduce Ben. So Ben is working at the MIT Museum, but has also worked with Main Streets for I don't know how many years. But he has the best quote I've heard in a long time on the Main Streets that I think we should discuss, because he said that online is not a place. Main Street is antidote. Yeah, as antidote, which I think is a great, at least it started to a conversation we should have. Online is not a place, so we need that place to meet physically and to feel like a part of a community. So and Ben, he grew up in a small place and studied. Oh, you had a fun fact about being in a class.
It's just very small, 31 kids in my graduate
Yeah,
class.
yeah. Which it looks like a good a community to be a part of in school. We can also discuss that.
Yes.
But yeah, that's a bit about Ben.
Okay, thank you, everybody. And I guess I will speak about Jeffrey because there are three of us at our table. Jeffrey, also a part of the Sensible City Lab, although you spoke about what you do and it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things, which I think is common of many of us, but I heard LiDAR in there, is that right? And
I do 3D scanning.
Right, 3D scanning, right. And grew up in Hong Kong, comes to, and he said his whole life is just traveling. So when he thinks about Main Streets, he thinks about just the place where everybody comes together and that defines a place. We asked how busy the streets are and the Main Street is in Hong Kong, and whether it has this, whether it has that. He said it has everything. So that's Main Street is a place that has everything.
You're back, yeah. Take this. And if we can just hurry just a bit slightly, just the fun fact, the name, and the why Main Street, just to give enough time for the prompts later.
All right, this is Max. Grew up in Texas, in the middle of a lot of suburbs, suburban hell. Undergraduate in computer science and chemistry. Chemical engineering. And so Main Streets can be a representative of the city's identity and also provide a smaller sampler of what the city has to offer.
Excellent, thank you.
In the spirit of speed as well, this is also Manolo. I guess we didn't really get to talk around the why Main Street just because we ran out of time, but their fun fact is they lived around the suburbs of Boston. Also a fellow undergraduate in course 4, oh no, not numbers. Let's see here. Architecture and urban planning. Cool.
Thank you. So I think that's it. So I heard different things. A lot of it are in common, but other ones also more original. Some of it, I am missing introducing Anne. Sorry about that. So Anne Ryan, she's actually the only person outside of the MIT community to join us, so very grateful to have you here. Fun fact about the experience here is that she has a nice cat a gray cat. What did I write? I don't know what I wrote. A great cat. And so she grew up in New York City, and Main Streets was very important there. And then in Somerville, when she moved to Boston, what she noticed is Main Streets are more a place that people pass through rather than destinations. And that's problematic because people don't go to these places to visit, they're just passing by. I don't know if you wanted to say anything or...
I didn't get a fun fact for you.
I think I gave the fun fact already, so...
Oh, you did? Okay. The one thing that I understood from hearing you is that a city is a place where we find where we belong in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that was your experience, and I think that's a really important characteristic of what Main Streets do.
She said it well, sense of belonging in the world, so... The social connectedness part came out a lot, but the idea also about these places being a lot for businesses rather than for people as an issue, and that's like a huge deal everywhere. Even New York, they have to fight for public spaces where people find their identity and meet and be around diverse people. You know, feeling of community. There's different things. What I can do with this is we can take those definitions, or like what makes a main street, and at the next session we will have a definition that we will like in common to see if it's something we can agree to and help us with the other thing.